Hey guys, Romie here. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're a first-time viewer, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you, and please like and comment on this video. This is my recap review for, I almost said basketball, Big Brother 18, episode 23. Now, this episode starts off with the nomination ceremony left off, and of course, Big Meech and Z, aka Michelle and Zakia, are both nominated, and Victor is just reaming. He's just so happy about his speech. He's saying how, of course, Big Meech, she's really emotional. She's basically doing a little bit too much, so I don't care if she comes and goes. Zakia, she didn't do anything to try and get close to him, so he figures, why not? And also, just take her out. It really doesn't matter. He really could put up almost anyone. That's kind of the game that Victor's been playing this whole time. He's not dumb, but he's not playing to win. That's the one thing he's not doing. He's like, of course, has the best shot of him and Paulie have the best shot of winning competitions, but you keep forgetting that Big Brother is won by people who are willing to play the social game aspect, so that the people who you kick out of the house and go into jury, they may actually want to vote to give you the $500,000. And I don't think that's really sunk into Victor's mind. He's really thinking, oh, as long as he's at the end of the day, this will keep. No, that's not how it works, dude. So Big Meech goes off crying. She's crying. She's like, oh, I don't understand. I haven't done anything to him. I wasn't mean to him or anything like that. And more people come in to try and console her. That's the one thing I won't miss. Michelle's been getting on my nerves. I know she's a super fan. I know she's super late to be in the house. But I'd rather have someone like Zakia who's able to at least fake the funk, because that's how I would react. I'd be like, okay, you're not going to rock me. You're not going to shake me. That didn't do much. I mean, that didn't do anything much. That would be an admission of it doing something. That didn't do anything. So Victor's upstairs. He's eating his cereal. Everyone else is trying to console Big Meech. And then this is where Big Meech messes up. She goes and lets the mouth rattle. She talks about how, I don't even understand how he wouldn't put up someone who wanted to get him out of the house, i.e. Paulie. Was she right? Absolutely. And I love her for that. But was that the best game move? We still have to wait and see, because at least people know what she's thinking. The bad part is people know what she's thinking at all times. She borderline has diarrhea of the mouth, which is terrible for a game like that, unless they're going to use her. Because I already know some information, so I have to keep thinking, okay, there's some people who just watch the show, so I can't say too much. And like I said, Paulie definitely felt a certain way. He called the subliminals, and Paul is talking to Victor, because remember, regardless of PP, it's really, if we're being honest, it's really PV or VP. That's what it really is, and that's how it's always been. Because Paul's not dumb. He knows that at the end of the day, Paulie at any moment could fall for Zakia's charms again, and he'll lose his bro. So he made sure to also align himself with Victor as soon as Victor came back into the house, and to keep that alliance stable and strong. Now, the thing with Paulie right now is, Paulie, of course, he sees Big Meech as a huge threat to his game. He sees Zakia as another vote. So, of course, he's going to do everything he can to keep Zakia in the house. And Zakia's super elated, but Paulie, again, he's also already doing that, well, you know, we'll see how it goes type of thing, as far as, you know, if this happens, what would you do? And I'm thinking, Paulie, so you don't want anyone on your side? Come on now. I understand you're afraid she'll go and she'll tell someone, but come on now. Let's stop faking the funk. And Zakia and Big Meech, they're talking. They know that they can only really trust themselves. Excuse me. And Big Meech kind of goes and talks about Paulie, and I'm thinking, why would you say that to Zakia? You really think you can trust her that much? You just said that you didn't really care that Devon got kicked out of the house. So you're going to go and spill your guts to Zakia, knowing that she's still connected to Paulie? Because Zakia goes, and while Paulie's playing pool, she has to count the fact that Big Meech is going after him. Big Meech does not like him. She feels like he's just going to win the whole thing. So now he has to go and talk to Paul. He has to go and converse with Paul to see where Paul's head's at. Because depending on where Paul's head's at will determine who's going to remain on the block. If both of them are, or if one of them are going to come off. And Paulie is trying to say, you know, she's bad for the game because she's very emotional. She'll go and blow up other people's game. Paul's saying, look, here's the thing. Zakiya has flattened out said, which is true, that she wanted Paul out. And so it would be bad for my game to keep her. It's bad for your game to keep Big Meech. But what about me? This is PP, not P. And so this is where we slowly see dissension. We slowly see it because of how they made it seem like they kept it really calm and cool, collected. So maybe you didn't get that there was real dissension there. But it is real, it is thick, and something's about to blow off. So now Paulie has to go and campaign for Zakiya and kind of see where everyone's head's at. First, he goes and hits up James. Why James? Because remember, James got the power from America to X out 2 people's votes. So now he has to figure out, okay, how can he use James to make sure that the votes that are against Zakiya get X'd out. For now. Again. Yeah, and with the, what do you call it? Now they're doing the veto nominations. And who else gets picked? Nicole gets picked. James gets picked. And Zakiya gets house guest choice. I'm thinking, Lord, Zakiya, if you only knew. She chose Paulie. She chose Paulie. She thought that, you know, this would be a good testament to see if he's going to save her or not. So now the veto competition is the infamous hide and go veto. That's the competition where you basically have this card, and it's a big card. It's like, this card is damn near the size of my laptop. Now, you have to go and hide that card somewhere in the house. The goal is for people not to find your card, period. But the game will end until at least the first 5 cards are found. And of course, your names are in the cards. Each card has your name to it. So that's why it's your own personal card. So you can use it strategically depending on how you want to play it. Now, James, remember, last year, James is infamous for destroying the house when this competition is going on. So because of that, James does what he does best. He goes into the kitchen, he opens up the fridge, and he starts boom, 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 taking the eggs out and throwing the eggs. He just destroys the house. See, that's the thing. James is really fun, but James also has a very immature side / streak to him. And I would get annoyed by that after a while. Like, you think Victor's bad? Even Victor is like, dude, everyone I think was probably a little annoyed. And fun fact, James and Natalie went straight to the kitchen and started to clean that part up. Because they're not dumb. They know the house will turn on them if they didn't do that. And Natalie is attached to James, so of course she helps. Nicole, shout out to Nicole. I forgot that Nicole's good at this competition. She got 2 out of the 5 cards. And basically how it worked was everyone got knocked out except for Paulie. Paulie hit his card. Nicole held, Victor found her card. She was the last one to get knocked out, but he got knocked out earlier on. I think, and it was bad because it was Zakiya and Big Meech that got knocked out. Nicole hit hers in the popcorn machine. James hit his in the comforter. But Paulie hit his in the main kitchen island. You know, it's not glass, it's like a plastic. So you can move the plastic table and the top of the actual countertop, and he put his in the center. So I have to give Paulie props because he is good at this game. He's definitely good at this game. He's definitely good at strategy. He's good at physical competitions. It's almost unfair. It is almost unfair. And you just think about it, because now Paulie and Paul, they have to go and figure out what the game plan is, because Paul's the Victor, was it Victor? Victor's the HOH, but now Paul has the power of veto. They still have the executives, and then also the board, and they're trying to do what's best for everyone. But Paulie is trying to do whatever's best for him. What's best for him is to keep Zakiya. He wants to do that, but Paul's saying, nope, that is not going to happen. Not on my watch, not ever, period. Point blank. We're not doing that. And so then afterwards, we have Zakiya talking to Paulie, and she's trying to figure out why is it that Paulie's trying to talk in riddles. He's talking about a castle and kings and queens, basically calling Zakiya his queen, and sometimes you either save the queen or you distract them. You use strategy and keep the queen up there as a target so that you can blindside them. I'm thinking, how dumb do you think Zakiya is? How dumb do you think this woman is? You really think that she's going to be okay with this type of logic? She knows what you're trying to say without saying it. Oh yeah, and by the way, go and vote for America's, who you want to get the next care package. I don't know right now because I don't want to give it to James. I don't want to give it to really anyone, to be honest with you. It's just a joke at this point. And as I said, Paulie is still trying to go and schmooze James and convince him that Big Meech is a bigger threat, because he's trying to say Corey, Nicole, James, they all want Big Meech out. People like Natalie, Victor, of course Paulie want Zakiya out. So we'll go and see what happens. Of course, what ends up happening is Paulie isn't going to rock the boat. He wants other people to get their hands dirty. And how's he going to do that? He goes and doesn't use the power of veto. It doesn't matter that his showmans in the house basically pleaded with him. It doesn't matter that Big Meech pretty much said, well, Big Meech was pretty much like, F off, to be honest with you. So Zakiya wasn't too shocked. Victor didn't care. Big Meech, though, she didn't freak out like she normally freaks out. And I know why. She's came to play. She's finally stopping with that. No, she's done with that. That's over. That's over. And if in tomorrow's episode we don't see that anymore, come back tomorrow. Yeah. Or technically Friday morning. Whenever I have the video up, guys.